This is my building. Yeah, Rise and Inspire. Kelly Patricia.
Darcy Elizabeth. We've been gone for 2 weeks.
We have, so we're catching up here.
Yes, and we're also going to change our topic. Originally, we were going to talk about surgery, but we're going to save it.
We're going to, for a later date. Still recovering.
Yeah, she's still recovering, and it's probably a little sore subject right now.
Yeah, I'm not digging it.
We'll come back to that one.
That's it.
I got plenty of surgery stories to share. She has a really good one.
Good one. So we will have time for that in the future.
So today we are going to talk about the beginning steps of nutrition, because a lot of times when somebody starts on their health journey, we like to not like
it's overwhelming. Right?
It's really overwhelming. There's so many like diets, fabs going on that
you never know what to follow, what to do. But we are saying if you want to start eating on a better routine, like say today, if you're not feeling well and you're like, as of today, how, without being in any other groups or having anyone to talk to, how would you decide today or tomorrow to change the way you go about your nutrition in a very simple way?
Right.
To help you.
Because a lot of times people like overcomplicate it, and it's really not. It's just more about like getting back to those basics, figuring out what works for you.
Yeah.
And then really you just want to like nurture your body.
Exactly.
That's really what it comes down to.
Exactly. And a lot of the times people, they think to get better nutrition, you have to give up like things like, I don't know, healthy fats or carbs or fruits or things.
Or even like whole fat products.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the enemy necessarily. It's what you choose in that category. That could be,
right. Or where it's sourced from.
Exactly.
Or like the ingredients in it, all those sort of things, those little steps that we don't even pay attention to.
Exactly.
Make a huge difference.
Just got to read the ingredients in a lot of things. And then you'll really see the difference once you start looking at things.
Right.
So for me, like what I would say, I always tell people like, start simple, right? So you always want to make sure that you get protein in your body because your body needs it, right? And like I was just saying, like a lot of people like to think, I want to lose weight. I want to be on a better nutrition plan, so I'm not going to eat carbs. So I say, depending on what they are, don't necessarily give that up, because that's when you end up overeating or overcomplicating things and binging, right?
Right.
Because your body craves it.
Yeah. And like, so the first thing I always like to say to people when I first start with somebody is, first step, let's cut out the processed food. Processed food is what has all those hidden ingredients. That's what makes us want more of it, right?
So addicting.
So addicting.
So addicting.
It is yummy, right?
It is so good.
But like if you train yourself and your mind to like, okay, I want the most simplest product, as in I don't want it to have a whole bunch of ingredients. I want it to be, actually like fill my body, because if it is processed, it's also gonna stay in your body as processed food as well, right?
Yeah, it doesn't digest the same.
So much harder for your body to process that kind of food than, veggies and that's when you protein.
Blow. And then that's when people think that they're gaining weight and that they need to stay away from it. It's not necessarily that, it's just what you choose in that category.
Right.
So processed foods stay away from, but that doesn't mean, I know a lot of processed foods are a typical carb or stuff like that. It's like, you don't have to stay away from carbs.
Right.
Processed ones. And not even just carbs in general, but vegetables or fruits or another thing. Darcy always tells people, nuts is a big thing. And a lot of people will not go to nuts because it has high fat.
Yeah, it's very high fat.
Right.
So talking more about like those categories that you're like talking about and finding the right stuff within those, one thing I always like to refer to is the Fab Four. The book is called Body Love by Kelly LeVeque, and she is amazing at breaking it down how there's 4 components that we need to make sure we're getting into our body so we can feel our best.
That's right.
It helps with, losing weight and just
Performing.
performing.
Fuel your body. We
Mhm.
are eating for fuel. Like I always say, you don't put bad gas in your car and expect it to run good.
Right.
You don't put bad food in your body and expect it to run at its best.
Yeah. You got to get those like healthy food in there.
Done. Shut it off.
We're both a little off our game today. We're like,
We're on it.
feeling a little funky.
We're on it.
So-
to win it.
In it to win it. 4 components I like to always talk about: fat, fiber, greens, and protein.
Yeah.
And protein's a hard one because there's some people that don't have animal protein, but
Right.
there's so much other
So many other ones. And
so
it is
many
hard.
options. It is hard. If you're a vegan, it's definitely hard to find
Yeah.
your protein source. But that, there's plenty of plant-based
Resources.
protein, yeah,
a
like
lot of other
protein
resources.
shakes and all those type of things that
Beans for one, like I
Beans.
know. I've been actually trying to find less animal protein in my diet necessarily every day, not because I don't want it, but because I'm getting sick of eating the same old stuff, because I do like to keep it very simple. So I'm trying to find other proteins, especially recovering. My body needs protein. So I'm trying to find other proteins that's not animal food to put in my body, but I don't like beans. So I really have to dabble in the vegetarian protein list of foods that I like to look at.
right. Yeah, and like getting those main components. So let's start with protein.
Yeah.
For instance, as she said, she needs protein to recover, right?
Right.
Well, we need it as well, even us who haven't had surgery, because
Exactly.
you feel better, right?
Yeah.
It's good. It's good for you. And especially if you're working out really hard
Yes.
or long days, whatever type of work you do, all that sort of stuff, you need that protein to build you back up.
Right.
And also keeps you full.
It does keep you full longer. Therefore, you won't feel hungry or like you need to binge on that processed junk
Yeah.
that is your brain's telling you want, but you don't really.
Right. And then like another component that really makes you full too is healthy fats.
Yes.
Healthy fats. Though.
Don't be scared of them
Don't be scared. There was a long time that
because the word fat is in there.
right. So there was a long time I was like, I want fat free, right? You want fat free. And that's going to be better than a full fat product.
Right.
But something to keep in mind when it is fat free, what happens is they take the fat out. But if you take all the fat out, there's no flavor, right?
Right.
So they put sugar back in. So that way you are constantly wanting, you want to eat it because it tastes good,
Right.
but it's not because of, the fat being taken out.
Exactly.
And it's not healthier for you.
It's not. So that's a huge thing. And then that's when I always say, then you start binging on other things that you think is really going to keep you more full. When in all reality, you really just need to look at the ingredients. So like she said, you're thinking that that's what you really low fat or whatever you just said, whatever it was. Thank you, anesthesia.
Yeah.
So now you really just need to look at the ingredients and make sure that they're not taking out what you're actually eating that product for and putting other crap in it.
Yeah. And like really what we want to like explain is that it doesn't have to be hard.
Right.
You just got to get back to basics. And then
Basics.
something that Kelly has always reminded me is if you're at a point where you're really hungry and you're like, what am I going to eat? I don't know what to do. I ate all my food for the day.
Exactly. Yes.
What do you do?
I always resort back to a vegetable of some sort. If you guys like I love to eat just cucumbers or carrots having around. I always have that in my refrigerator so I can munch on it whenever. Fruit, because it's sweet, so you feel like you're getting that special treat in, but you're just getting fruits and veggies in. And then that's another thing. Like I love to snack on nuts too. Don't be scared of them. You know what I mean? So you have to, obviously you can't sit there and eat a whole bag, but if you're hungry and you still have more time to go throughout your day, don't starve yourself if that's not what this is about. And then if you do eat over what you're supposed to, it's not like, well, I've lost it for the day. I had to eat extra crap. So then I'm just going to keep eating crap for the day. That's just, don't do that, because if you're hungry, you need to eat. You just need to keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it.
And moderation.
Moderation.
Yeah.
That's it.
And like when it comes to, for instance, nuts, when anyone asks me, what should I do for a serving size? Check it out. Check out what they say. What's the recommended amount of almonds you should have for this serving, sort of thing. And when you have, like, say you're like, oh, I messed up my food for the day, but I had, way more veggies than I should have. We would love to see people eat more veggies because that's easier for your body to process, more nutrients, all that sort of component than, processed food, rather than a granola bar, right? Or
it's fast and easy. We get it.
Yes.
But also, if you have things, like I said, carrots already cut up, cucumbers already cut up, that can also be fast and easy.
Right.
It is what you make it, you guys.
Preparation
is key. So you really need to, and again, starts all up in your brain, what do you really want? Like, are you trying to do your nutrition better so you feel better? Are you doing it to lose weight?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You always have to remind yourself, like, why am I trying to give up that processed food and start eating better whole foods? Because we want to be healthier, right? And I always tell people, like, the girls that I work with, they're so, a lot of them so stuck on that scale and that number. And it's like, we have to remember why we're doing this, you guys. If you follow me, I share my weight a lot. I talk about that because for me, now that I'm in this space, it's not about the number for me. It's about what I am fueling my body with, so how it performs at its best.
Right. And one thing I like to think about is, if you take it back, let's go back, 50 years, you notice that obesity wasn't that big, right? There wasn't such thing because people were more focused on the nutrients, getting back to basics, having, protein, a veggie, and they did have carbs, right? They had potatoes, they had corn,
all those potatoes probably every night.
Right. So when I think of carbs, because I feel like right now that is what everyone's trying to get rid of.
It's like a stigma.
Yeah.
Chips. Bad.
Correct.
Potato. 2 thumbs up.
Right. And as we said, moderation.
Yeah.
Check out, the serving size that you can have. And that's why a lot of people do like, for instance, a container system or measuring system of some sort.
A lot of people weigh it out.
Yeah. Right. And so I think if we think back to what they were doing, first up, they were active all day, right? Right.
Moving.
They weren't sitting
and
at a desk.
Eating off the land too. You know what I mean? So if you can grow it.
Yeah. I got my gardening pants on this year.
I thought it was
fun, kind of. I think I like going to the farmer's market better.
Those are I like to do those.
I like to buy them because I don't want to actually grow them.
Right.
But I want to know where they came from.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I like to do it myself, because also a lot of times, and that's why we like to wash the things, a lot of people spray different stuff on their foods.
Yep.
So you always have to be very careful about that too. So washing is
same with animal protein.
Big time.
Organic. Big time. So I always get the question of, should I do organic or regular? I always get organic when I'm in the store.
Yeah.
Because that's just less chemicals that are putting on it.
Yeah.
But, there's ways around that. You can, like I have done, where you soak them in apple cider vinegar and water.
Yep.
Just a little apple cider vinegar. Just little, a whole bunch of water. Because then it will taste like it. But, there's certain ways around it. But I always do organic. But this year when I grew my plants, they weren't organic seeds.
Right.
So I just did the regular, and hey. You just got to try your best.
You know where it comes from. It makes you feel better about eating it. If you're growing it, it's going to be good nutrients for your body, most likely, because it's out in the land. So it's simple. Get your veggies, fruit, but don't have like 100 different options either, because that's when food starts going to waste and you don't eat it all. And then you start overcomplicating it. Then you get overwhelmed and you're like, what am I doing with my life?
Right,
I'm done.
Yeah.
Give me the granola.
I do like granola. But
that good kind,
yes.
like granola bars or
Yes,
whatever,
yes.
fast and easy, packaged from the stores.
yeah. So like, here's the thing, just get back to basics.
Yeah.
Think about, how can I live more off the land than processed city kind of thing?
Yeah.
And another key component to your nutrition, water.
Water. Hydrate your life.
You're going to
So
notice
important.
it.
So important.
You're going to notice
This isn't
it.
energized. This is water for once in my life. No, I'm just kidding.
She had her first Energize today post-surgery.
Yeah, and it was so good, just like I remembered. Just like the good old days.
They're coming back.
Yeah.
They're
Slowly
coming
but
back.
surely, people.
Yeah. So couple things is next week, we want to dive in more to like the
Yeah.
different types of diets. We are not, totally against other people's types of diets.
Right.
We just more like to point out some like points about it and, why
And
some
long
things
term.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Long-term side effects too.
Yeah.
Because there is side effects.
Big
to some.
time.
And then also we are always open to like new topics.
Yes.
Hit us with some new topics.
Yeah.
But we are actually going to be jumping on into a mindset group that we're doing right now and just talking all about like negative self-talk. So that's what we're going to be doing next. If
Yeah.
this is something you want to see,
Yeah.
check out our Instagrams
Yeah.
because we're going to put it up there or ask to be in the group and one of us will add you.
Get you right in there, you guys. Also, just remember, this is basic nutrition right now. So we just want to keep it real easy, simple. You're gonna, headaches, withdrawal a little bit. I feel like
That's a good point to bring up.
So don't if you're starting to feel like crap and you're like, oh, but I'm listening to you and that's what I'm really trying to focus on and get into my day. The first week or two, you may have a headache or just not feeling great or kind of meh or whatever and want to give up, but you just have to stay strong and always remember your why, right? And why are you doing this, right? We just want to live long, healthy lives. If you guys have kids, you just want to be able to go around, chase them, be there, right? Good influences, help teach our younger generation too, so they can grow up being their strongest and best selves. So I feel like just start simple.
Yeah, for sure. Because sugar withdrawal is rough.
Is real.
You get a headache.
It's real.
You don't feel good. You almost feel like weak,
Yeah.
weirdly.
Yeah.
But once you get over that hump, you're going to feel so much better. And if you are having those, so for instance, when I stopped drinking soda a few years ago,
And that's a hard one.
That's such a hard one. You get these headaches
Mm-hmm.
and, you feel like you need it and you had more energy when you're drinking soda. But it's not true because once you get over that hump, your
Yeah.
body's like, oh my God, this is nice.
Yeah.
I'm not relying on something else for an
Right.
energy source.
Exactly. I think that's a good way to put it.
For sure. Okay, well, we're going to go. Talk about
Short and sweet today.
short and sweet because we're just back on the bandwagon.
That's right.
We'll be back next Tuesday. But if you are looking for us on Instagram, I am Darcy.Elizabeth. Oh, no. Hold on. I just changed it. DarcyElizabeth.co and
Kelly_Patricia.
So we're going to post our negative self-talk videos later tonight. And as always, thank you for tuning in.
Yes. See you guys next week.